The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Delta variant possible concern at Alcan Bay, says NJAC. In light of the recent concerns that have been expressed both by the Prime Minister and our medical experts concerning the severity of the Delta variant of the COVID-19 virus and its potential for entry into Trinidad and Tobago, the National Joint Action Committee (NJAC) is expressing its concern about the lack of systems of monitoring and control of the Alcan Bay facility at Chaguamas. There continues to be a continuous movement of Venezuelan personnel between Alcan Bay and Venezuela on a regular basis without any form of restriction or regulation in place. In most instances, there is uncontrolled mixing between the Venezuelans and locals without any adherence to the required protocols. We have already learned from international sources that the Delta variant of the virus is already present in South America, including Venezuela. The current situation at Alcan Bay therefore poses a great risk for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Several attempts by the Alcan Bay fishermen to have the matter addressed by the authorities, including Customs and the Ministry of National Security, has been to no avail. NJAC therefore appeals to the relevant authorities to address this situation urgently in order to avert an impending disaster. NJAC also calls on the media to investigate this very precarious situation. The people of this country are already undergoing tremendous suffering due to the impact of the COVID-19 virus, including the P1 variant. Our people cannot afford to be further victims of a much more severe and potent variant of the virus at this point in time. Coast Guard breaches curfew and insults police officers. A 39-year-old Coast Guard who allegedly insulted police officers after they escorted him home, has been charged with breach of curfew. According to a report, a party of officers were on patrol yesterday when around 12:10 a.m. they received a report that a car was suspiciously parked in front of someone's home in Caratal Road, Gasparillo. The officers responded and found the suspect sleeping in the driver's seat. They woke him up and identified themselves. The suspect told the officers that he was a member of the Coast Guard and had just finished work. He said he was tired and stopped to make a call. Based on the driver's permit, the officers realized that he lived a short distance away and decided to escort him home. However, as the suspect reached home and saw people watching next door, he started shouting and pointing at the police, saying, "This is what y'all good for, fight down. Why all you making a scene, all you stupid police?" He also reportedly referred to one of the officers as a little black boy and asked the officers, "Is dotish all you dotish?" The officers then arrested the suspect and took him to the Gasparillo police station, where he allegedly told them that he really went to check them boys down the road. PC Das then charged him with breach of curfew, disorderly behavior, and the use of insulting language. Relatives accidentally wounded in family dispute. 2 relatives from Santa Cruz were wounded following a disagreement over a locked door on Sunday night. According to police reports, the incident occurred at Pipiol Road in Santa Cruz around 7:40 p.m. as a 68-year-old licensed firearm holder was having an argument with a 38-year-old male relative over a locked door at their property. The 38-year-old female relative attempted to intervene to separate them, but the gun was discharged in the scuffle. The 68-year-old man was shot in his left leg, while his female relative was shot in her right leg from the same bullet. Both relatives were taken to the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in Mount Hope for treatment. The woman was treated and discharged, while the elderly man remained warded up to late yesterday. Police visited the duo's home and seized a firearm, ammunition, and a shell casing. PC Budai of the Santa Cruz Police Station is continuing investigations. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley ridicules plan of fake grass for Mandela Park. The Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, said any plan to transform the Nelson Mandela Park into a modern public wellness and sports tourism hub by installing synthetic grass is a salesman's foolish idea. The proposal had come from Port of Spain Mayor Joel Martinez, an insurance salesman, and it has now been shelved. At 12:39 p.m. yesterday, Prime Minister Rowley responded on Facebook to the proposal to install a synthetic surface playing field known as 3G AstroTurf in place of the natural grass at the park. Replacing the natural environment at the Mandela Park with artificial turf is a salesman's foolish idea that ought not to waste the time or the resources of the Port of Spain Corporation. The government is sure the corporation can put its time and money to much better use and spare us all this unnecessary aggravation, Rowley stated. During a consultation exercise last week, Port of Spain Mayor Joel Martinez had outlined the advantages of such a proposal, including the development of the 3G turf facility, which he said was for intensive use because of its durable, resilient nature and improvement to the design of the park to facilitate increased public use and host multiple sporting events. Martinez responded to the Prime Minister's statement by saying, "He's indicated his position publicly, and by doing that he has sent us a message which we have heard loud and clear. I can't say from where that position would have taken root. Maybe he read one of my responses in the media, or maybe he was briefed on what was taking place. In any case, I am the Mayor of Port of Spain on behalf of the city and its occupants, not for any personal capacity. Therefore, my views will have to reflect the city's views, and as for the Prime Minister, I welcome his statements. I would be inclined to believe that the office holder is a more politically astute man than the Mayor of Port of Spain. So any opportunity that I get to hear from the Prime Minister, I'm delighted. No matter the medium or if it's an indication of whether it's something I need to do or not do, I think he's much more experienced and politically astute, so I welcome it," Martinez said. Martinez, however, wanted to correct views being expressed in the media that the Port of Spain City Corporation had already committed to the proposal. Contrary to what is being reported, he said the corporation had yet to commit to any proposals and explained. What had happened was the corporation some years ago got some unsolicited proposals to look at the means as part of the development for the revitalization of Port of Spain. The proposals were only addressed recently, and we then looked at how persons utilize the park and the activities conducted in the park. We thought maybe we could enhance this experience and review the activities, and we thought it was a good idea to bring it to public consultation, to ask the public their thoughts and opinions before proceeding. Then on Sunday, after receiving feedback from the city's occupants, we came to a decision that we will not be going through with the proposal. This was even before the Prime Minister's statement. So we took heed of the public's response. Initially, it was a mix of persons who were both for and against. However, eventually the number of persons who thought it was not a good idea became overwhelming, and as of Sunday, as the Mayor of Port of Spain, I decided we will put the whole proposal on pause and will not request any other proposals for the development of the park in the interim. It so happened that the Prime Minister responded on Monday and made his position clear, which indicated that there were better areas we could turn our attention to, and I don't disagree with him. When asked his opinion on the Prime Minister making his statement via social media, Martinez said he had not taken any issue with the medium. The local government typically does not have frequent communication with the central government outside of mostly members of parliament. Typically, if we have proposals, before we even bring it to the central government for funding or what have you, we will have to do public consultations, which is exactly what we did in this case, because that is one of the main criteria for any approvals of projects. One of the key tenets of leadership, especially in government, is to listen to the people and try to do what is right for the people. We may not always get things right. And there are times where we will be critical and be criticized for events and proposals. Other times we will be praised. At the end of the day, it's about what the people would want and need, he said. On the lesson learned, Martinez said, "What I will take away from this entire process, however, is that for future proposals of whatever kind, we will try to put it in a way that is more palatable or understood by the citizenry, so they appreciate the process that we are trying to find out their interest in what is being put forward, and that it does not mean we have automatically made a decision to pursue an avenue." PNM reprimands Farley Augustine for comments he made under Olympian Michelle-Lee Ahye's tweet. The People's National Movement, PNM, is dragging one of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, PDP's deputy leaders, Farley Augustine, over the coals for comments he made about Trinidad and Tobago Olympian Michelle-Lee Ahye. Augustine, in turn, is accusing the PNM of taking his comments out of context, saying they were directed to the government and sporting officials, not the athlete. On July 31, Augustine reacted on Facebook to Ahye's Twitter post questioning why famous TNT-born rapper Nicki Minaj only complimented the Jamaican women sprinters' performance in the 100 meters Olympic race. "Guess I needed to win a medal for @Nicki Minaj to recognize her own country flag," Ahye had tweeted. She later deleted the tweet, stating, "That tweet got people heated, and when someone suggested that Nicki Minaj made her delete it, she replied, 'Made me? Ain't nobody can make me do anything.'" Augustine was one of the many who commented on Ahye's tweet. "I don't understand how people who are failing expecting recognition. What Nicki tweeting her to say? We carried the worst Olympic team in years and expect adoration?" Augustine said in the now deleted Facebook post. The PNM's Tobago West Youth League, TWYL, waded into the PDP's area representative for Palais-Touvière Lance Formy's Speyside. Farley Augustine's disgust for national athlete Michelle-Lee Ahye for not medaling at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics is tasteless and crass, with no regard for our athletes who qualified for the international games. The members of the Youth League believe that the Assemblyman's derogatory comments seek to diminish our athletes, the league added. The Tobago West Youth League stands strong in supporting all our athletes who are competing at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Whether they medal or not, they continue to do our country proud, and we raise our flag in honor of their service. The league's chairman, Rachel Gregor, said, "The physical and mental pressures of these athletes cannot be measured by those who are not in their shoes." Responding to the league, Augustine said the PNM was dishonest. The PNM took a small piece of conversation that I had online with Tobago professional footballer Kenya Yaya Cordner about Michelle-Lee Ahye demanding a tweet from Nicki Minaj, and while it is easy to see how what was said can be misinterpreted, it is dishonest to pull piece of a thread, omit important details, and give it a slant. Even today, Kenya Yaya Cordner, who is a public supporter of the PNM, made an angry stat in response to where PNM has taken the conversation. At no point did I blame the athletes for our failures. I blame TTOC, government policies, and us, the nation as a whole. He said, for years, Tobago's athletes have been disadvantaged. Imagine, we have 6 Tobagonians in the Olympics this year, but for years the Dwight York Stadium remained inaccessible to our athletes. We have athletes picking up injuries at Shaw Park's uneven turf, Augustine said. Minaj did not respond publicly to Ahye's comments, and Ahye, who is in Tokyo, Japan for the Olympic Games, could not be reached for comment.